So we'll jump into some finance news here. So Biden did his budget proposal. We're going to go through it real quick. I'm not going to go into detail, mainly because a lot of it is just he doesn't expect any of this to pass, and it's not. And then a Republican House, it's not gonna. They're gonna shoot down all this. But what he did was he basically went. He took a hard turn to the left and went pretty progressive with his budget proposal. Um, and it was kind of interesting. I mean, when I saw it, it almost thought like did freaking Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren write this thing, because it doesn't seem like a Biden budget proposal. But Fox News is fucking not happy about it. They're gonna let you know right here. They're gonna be very upset.
What he makes of that best-selling author, former Trump senior economic advisor. Whoops. Steve, I don't know where this goes, but I'm wondering if the president knows it doesn't go very far, but he's calling out Republicans to say, I have a plan to shore up Medicare. Where's yours? What do you think?
Well, look, it is true. This budget, thank God, is going nowhere. I've been in this business for 35 years, and I would have to say this is a fiscal atrocity. It's probably the worst.
Fiscal atrocity. So let me give you some background here. So this guy, Steve Moore, this is what they were complaining about. So Biden's budget proposal raises the well, it's 6.5 trillion over the next 10 years, right? So that's the assumed raising potentially of the national debt, right? Now you're sitting there thinking, "Ooh, that's 6.5 trillion seems like a lot of money." It's actually not, because in Trump's 4 years, with this guy Steve Moore, who's about to talk, they raised the debt by over 8 trillion. Which was about the same as Obama did in 8 years. So they raised it more than any other president in the history of this country, right? The thing about Biden's budget that's pissing them off is Biden's budget also has $5 trillion worth of revenue to offset that, and it's all taxes on the rich and the wealthy. That's what they're pissed about, is he wants to do a lot of wealth tax, up corporate tax, all that stuff. And he wants to use that money to fund, he's going to increase the military, which is fine, but that's his choice. But to fund Social Security and Medicare fully going forward, and to make sure that we're going to add a bunch of other social safety net programs to help people get out of poverty. So this whole thing, they're upset about is, well, wait, so now you're going to take from the rich and give to the poor? It's not the way we do things in America. We cut taxes on the rich and we raise them on the poor. That's how we do it in America. But this is the guy that, under Trump, blew up the national debt more than any other president in history. This guy was the economist, the economic advisor who did that, and now he's going to bitch about this.
Budget I've seen in terms of what its impact would be on the economy. It would be a killer. We'd have the highest tax rates in the world. We'd have the highest corporate tax rate in the world. Our personal income tax rates would go, maybe not to the highest in the world, but pretty close.
Personal income tax rates wouldn't go up unless you were making over, like, whatever it was, like $4 million a year or something like that.
So none of that is going to go anywhere with the Republican House. But here's why this is so important, Neil. This is sort of the blueprint for where progressive Democrats want to take the country. And I think it's really indicative that there's no cuts in here, that it's all tax and spend, tax and spend, tax and spend.
Well, it is. Increase the Medicare payroll tax on people making more than $400,000 a year. I'm for it. So right now, if you guys don't know what that means, so in Medicare and Social Security, if you make more than a certain amount a year, I think it's like 400,000 is what he's got here for Medicare. I don't know exactly what it is for Social Security off the top of my head, but if you make more than that, well, I know it's for Social Security, it's 140, I think. So if you make more than that, you don't have to pay Social Security on every dollar above that amount, right? So if you make 200,000 a year, You're not paying Social Security on whatever it is, 60 grand, something like that. Well, if you take that cap away and these people have to pay Social Security on all their income like everybody else, then guess what? Social Security is no longer, I mean, it's flush. It's going to have plenty of money. This whole, well, it's going to run out of money, right? In 10 years, that goes away. It's fully funded. He's doing the same thing with Medicare. So his whole problem is Biden's plan doesn't cut anything. What he's doing is he's just raising taxes to pay for everything. But he's raising it on the wealthy and corporations, not on anybody who's, in the bottom 90% of the country, or 80%, 85%. Just the top 15 or 20%.
Yeah, seriously, I mean, nobody wants to feel like they're being nickel and dimed to death, but the bracket of people he's talking about, generally speaking, have the money. Why are we worrying about it?
And they pay the least percent in taxes.
Right.
I mean, yeah, he just said, let's start taxing them what we tax everybody else.
I sure pay my share every year, that's
Right.
for sure.
I'm okay with it. So anyway, it's not, none of that's going to pass, but at least it's basically Biden saying, this is what my next, if he runs, what it looks like he's setting up to run again, he's basically saying, this is what my next 4 years is going to be. This is what I'm going to be focused on, is this shit. Yeah. So good news for that. I mean, so good for him. I mean, I thought it was pretty progressive, pretty aggressive move on his part. But yeah, it's pretty hard turn to the left. But I think Biden's got the right idea. He's going after the younger generations and saying, hey, you guys have got the shit end of the stick. We're going to try and do something to fix that. As opposed to the Republicans who are too busy, liking gay models on Instagram while trying to ban drag shows, thinking of stupid nicknames for each other. Man, so